Hey guys, I'm Dr. Josh with the Premier Life of Carmel, and welcome to the Premier Life Podcast. Guys, I always like to look at our mission statement here, where our mission is to be a place of love, hope, and restoration for you to live out your God-given potential. And I want to just say, Happy New Year, guys. We're 2026 already, which is crazy. And I'm sure this is usually the time where everybody is like getting over the holidays, refocusing. Everybody's getting on their New Year's resolutions. And today we're going to talk a little bit about that. We're going to talk about what are most common goals that people have, and really like, why are we missing them? Because a lot of us in today's society, it's fast moving, it's fast paced, and we want that result really fast. And I think the problem is we're asking ourselves the wrong questions. Instead of asking, what do I need to do to get blank faster? I think there's deeper questions we need to ask. So I want to challenge you guys in that today, and we're going to dive into that. Let's talk about normal New Year's resolutions. Like, what are the common goals that people have, right? It's usually, I want to get healthier. I want to make more money. But most commonly you hear, like, I want to get in better shape. Like, I want to lose weight. And I think the question that we're not looking at is the why. Like, why do I want to lose weight? Because let's be honest, like, I don't think everybody just wants to lose weight. Like, I think there's a deeper meaning behind it. It's either you want to feel more confident, you want to have more energy, you want to feel attractive again, you want to maybe you want to get off medication. But there's a deeper meaning to why. Like, why do you want to do that? Why do you want to, if it is like, hey, I want to look better, I want to feel more confident. It's like, what do you want to do with that? What's the things that you want to do? Or if it is like, again, I want to look better. How long do you want to do that for? What are the things that people are doing for that? So for a minute, I'm going to talk about something that is popular right now, which are both peptides and GLP-1s. I'd say most of us, since it's in society, have heard of one of those two things, but a lot of people this has been huge over the last year. And I think this is the common thing that people are going towards, is it's marketed for, hey, this is going to help you lose the weight that you've been trying to lose for years. And this is going to give you the result you want really, really fast. And I want to caution you guys for the fastest route. I want to caution you guys for the shortcut, so to speak, of instead of asking like, what do I need to do to get there faster? I want to challenge you guys to ask yourself, like, who do I need to become to create that life? And we're going to go into that. But before we do that, I want to stop, and I want to talk about these two major topics, are GLP-1s and peptides. And you guys, again, there's people talking about it, but guys, originally, like, GLP-1s were made for like diabetic patients, like people who have ideally glucose level issues, but it's marketed to, again, like, lose weight, and even crazy marketing, like slowing down our digestion, which somehow people hear that and go like, oh, that's really good. But I think when you look at that deeper and you just stop and think about it, like, slowing down digestion isn't something I necessarily want for myself. For instance, like, these things are coming with, when it comes to digestion, for instance, like, you want that regulating well, you want that moving. I'm not saying it needs to move faster than it's supposed to or slower than it's supposed to. You want it to be working the way that it's supposed to, because digestion is a huge, it helps with your immune system, your detoxification process, all of this. And all of these, whether it's GLP-1, peptides, whatever, all of these, like, fast solutions always have a repercussion later on. I think of when I was younger, I was always told, like, hey, everything has a consequence. It's going to be a good consequence, maybe a bad consequence, but you have to be able to look at what's going on and have discernment on what is the consequence I want to have. And I hate to say it, most of these fast routes, whether it's GLP-1 or some kind of crazy protocol, peptides, I hate to say it, a lot of the medications now, they have crazy side effects, and I think we're jumping on the bandwagon before we're actually looking at it, because I think if everybody stopped and looked at what this is doing to us, most of us would say absolutely not. I mean, for instance, when we look at GLP-1s, like, do you lose weight? Absolutely. Like, did you get the result of that quickly? Absolutely. The problem is those things create muscle wasting. There's articles that show that there is muscle wasting associated with it. There is brain fog. There is fatigue. There is literally paralysis of your digestive tract. So when they talk about slowing down, it's because it's not working, and there's even cases where they're finding, we don't know how long that's going to last. There's estimated to last up to 6 or 7 years before your stomach starts to work the way that it should. And that's nutrients that aren't going where they should be. So not only are we becoming malnourished because we wanted the faster route, but it's breaking our body down. It's actually changing our brain. Like, our brain is being hacked by these things. Like, the part of the brain that, when I think of appetite, sorry, I'm struggling to get my words out. The part of the brain that is associated with appetite is diminished, and most of us just bypass what that's doing. It's not just one part of the brain. It affects the entire system. And guys, remember, your nervous system regulates everything, so when that happens, it creates a cascading effect. And guys, other places they don't feel good about these types of products, And so I think the question has to be are we making the right decision about this? Cause it's affecting our metabolism. It's affecting everything. Anything that you're wanting to do that creates a fast response, I would say let's hold up and look at all the things before we jump on the bandwagon, because ultimately it's not creating metabolic change, so to speak. It's creating a temporary override for your whole body. Same thing goes with peptides. I mean, peptides, they're essential for us, right? Our body produces them, and they're used in every single process in the body, immune system, hormone regulation, metabolism, even in healing. But it's not so much that the peptide is bad, it's the synthetic peptide that is creating a negative response, because when they're manufactured, it's the additives that are put in. It's the shelf. We have to make sure that they survive the shelf life. It's the way that they're injected. The way our body produces them and the way that we inject them into our body, that's not the natural way of things. And there's other ways for you to increase the peptide usage. So I bring that up because both of those things are really big, and that we could dive into that in much more detail. But I bring this up because anything that is, again, promising a very fast result, we have to caution ourselves and start asking ourselves different questions of not only hey, what do I want to do and how do I get there faster? But we've got to start looking at who are we identifying with? Who's the person that needs to get that result? Or what I mean by that is, if my goal is to lose weight, because I want to be able to be more active with my kids, right? And I want to be able to spend more intentional time with them. If I'm getting down on the floor and I'm having a hard time getting up and I can't play with them regularly, it's not so much if I only identify with what I need to change, that's where most of us fail. It's not, when we change our identity on who I need to be in order to get the result that I'm looking for, there's just better results out of that, So I think of, for instance, there's so many stories of somebody who has overcome something hard in life. Most people know of David Goggins. If you haven't, you should look him up. But the guy has had a crazy past of disabilities and overweight and, down on his luck, broke, and goes to be this amazing Navy SEAL that has been like world renowned. But in many of the interviews that he had, he was like, I made the decision that I'm not being the person that allows myself to make those decisions. And so we have to start looking at what's the person that we want to be in order to do that. So I think of somebody in here, for instance, who didn't want to go down the traditional route. Like they had gotten a pretty bad diagnosis, and they were like, hey, I don't want to go down the traditional route. I don't want to go down having to get medication after medication. I've seen people go down that route, and it never works, but I feel like that's the only path I have. And in her mind, the identity that she had was that I have to do it this way. I'm a person that has to go through it this way. And I remember the day where she made a shift in the way she thought about herself of, I am the person that finds the solution. I am the person that makes the change. And so I remember the day where she went to see her doctor. They gave her another bad prognosis, and they said, you're going to have to go through this therapy. You're going to have to take these drugs. You're going to have to get this surgery. And she stood up and she said, no, I'm not doing that, and walked out. And after doing that, she took full control of her entire health. And that's somebody who started taking her nervous system, care of her nervous system very seriously. She started coming here daily, getting care daily. She started changing her lifestyle habits. She started eating differently. She started exercising differently. And did her symptoms get better immediately? No. But over time, because she was identifying with a person who is here to heal, a person that can do hard things, that can overcome disease, that is what led her body to create the change. And later, when she gets the testing done on checking on that disease, guess what? It's no longer there. The diagnosis is completely gone. She's in full remission. And all of that started with her deciding, instead of saying, I can only do blank, or I'm a person that can't handle blank, she decided, no, I am a person that can find solutions. I am a person that can arm themselves well. And why do I bring this up, guys? Because we can't always do that ourselves. Guys, that's where we love to partner with you in life in order for you to see your life completely change the way you want it to. So when we come to these New Year's resolutions and we want to see our entire life change, we have to start identifying with who do we need to become in order to get the change. And that's where we do these workshops. This is where we have an amazing event coming up at the end of January where we're going to get to walk through how do we start to break down the barriers that we put around ourselves? How do we start to identify the person that we don't need to be, that's not giving us the life that we should have? And how do we start, and so breaking those barriers down, and how do we start identifying with the person that God has designed us to be? God's called all of us to be better and amazing and helping other people. But we have to, if we're stuck in ourselves, we're stuck in our own way, we're never going to be that person that God designed us to be. So this type of an event, I think anybody that wants to better themselves is going to be perfect for you. I want to see everybody be there, because I know every time we get together and we do these things, this is where we see people, their health completely change. It completely radicalizes. So guys, if you haven't heard of this event yet, it's on January 31st. It's on a Saturday morning. It's going to be an amazing time. And I want you guys to be intentional. And really, if you actually want to create a true change for yourself, I think this is exactly what you need to be at. So guys, I'm Dr. Josh. That's my time. Thanks.